Right, so piston rings have arrived. Yeah, so I can get on with doing that. I'll show you quickly what's happened to the other head. So it's been skimmed, but here you can very faintly see, maybe, that there's a crack just here between those two cylinders, which means my beautifully ported head that is, well, I ported it, what, 3 years ago? Scrap. So I have been doing up another head, well, porting it, and it's almost ready to go to the machine shop to have new valves and whatnot put into it. I haven't really masked it off very well because I'll just sand the flat surfaces afterwards, but so yeah, it also needs unleaded valve seats, unfortunately, because it's an old head. I think it's probably off a Metro, but unsure. So there's that. I'll get on with doing the piston rings. Right, so I got a little bit distracted. I thought it would be easier to do the cam timing just with one piston in, because it's easier to turn the crank by hand. So it's only vaguely set up, but that's okay because it's a vernier pulley, so it's infinitely adjustable, and I can adjust it afterwards. But the car would run with it as it is, even though it probably isn't ideal. I suppose we could find out. So, okay, that's roughly top dead centre. So, if I rotate the crank, this should start changing direction at roughly 107, well, exactly 107 degrees after top dead centre, but it's probably not set up right, well, not exactly right. So if I put this on with my makeshift pointer, which I think is part of the gearbox, okay, so that's 107 degrees on this scale. You can see it. This push rod should reach maximum lift. So we'll see if I've done this right. So there's 90 degrees. and 7. Except that's more than it should be. Oh. Nope, it's not right. It's about 20 degrees out. Somehow. Must have moved it a tooth out. Okay, that's too much adjustment for that, so I need to take it off and do it again. Okay. So after much faffing, the cam timing is done. I don't know quite what I did wrong the first time, but it's there now, so that's cool. Right, I can get on with tightening the rest of those, and yeah, then put the pistons in. Cool. So that's the bottom end all together and torqued up. Cam timing done. So I suppose 2 jobs I could do next. One of them sensible. I should probably stick the timing cover on to cover all this up. I'm going to check the cam timing one more time just because I'm paranoid, and then stick the cover on, then the gearbox. Right, so gearbox is on. What's next is putting in the drop gears, which is pretty easy, and putting the transfer case on, which is just a case of a gasket. And that probably is the engine about as complete as it's gonna get until I get the cylinder head back off the engineering shop. As with everything in this rebuild, something is a problem. I don't know quite what that something is, but My theory is this is not aligned properly with this, so it doesn't match up on the inside of here, that hole with that hole. I have no idea. I'm going to have to do some reading or something. So that's the engine largely back together, obviously aside from the head, but the issue that I was having with the transfer case, there was nothing actually wrong or out of alignment. It was the fact that I've replaced the idler gear with an upgraded version, which gives you very, very little wiggle room to line everything up. So basically the bottom gear, I don't know if you can see in there, the bottom gear, the bearing wants to sit in here, and all of the bearings were splayed out when I was trying to press it on. Normally, because there's a bearing here as well, it would give you some room to wiggle the thing around. But luckily my dad came up with a solution. Came in here and just smeared grease in them, in the bearing, to hold them all inwards, and it just slotted straight on. So that's cool. Yeah, it's all ready for clutch, flywheel, head, and well then hopefully it can run, but we'll see.